All right,
All right,
can I
go.
start?
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
All right. So I'm just talking purely financial now. Let's set history aside for one brief moment.
Okay.
We got to spend $40,000+ to tear it down if you did want to tear it down. You spend $100,000 and you get a $250,000 asset that can be sold if this doesn't work out. I would suggest a stipulation, because our job as trustees of the Tourtellotte Trust is that if this is not successful, that the trust be reimbursed for the money that it puts up. Otherwise, my recommendation, I know money, and you spend $40,000 and knock it down, you got to start from scratch. You spend $100,000 to get $250,000 asset. That's a very good investment. So that's it. That's my comment.
May I rebut that?
Let me go down to Rob first. Let's get his first
Okay.
comment, Kathleen, and we'll come back to that.
Sure, no
Rob,
problem.
you have anything?
Yeah, no, thank you, Tom. And I actually turned off my Wi-Fi, not knowing where that thing was going, so I didn't get the emails coming in. You know, a lot of what my feelings I said the other night around, you know, various usages for the building. I think whatever we think it might be today, it might be that tomorrow, but you know, it might change and morph into other usages, which could all be positive. Joe touched on the financial just now, and I mentioned that too, that, you know, it's like a 50% funding and a 50% grant, right? So it's a project that's, I know it's all our tax dollars going in and then coming back through the form of grants, but it's a nice way to have a building in a project that we're funding 50% and not 100% of it. Outside of that, I didn't comment the other night, was about the energy. And these projects take financial dollars, but they take people that have a strong passion to see it through and have the leadership to drive to make it happen. So I'm positive in that regard. And then lastly, I don't want to back us up. I didn't hear the motion that was put forth, but you know, we talked, I heard varying numbers of half of it, which is 122. There's some comments around 70 to 100 or some other portion. I can certainly support it, and I could also support a model where part of the half is funded by the trust, and it's almost like a match to the match without making it complicated. But you know, we come in with a certain amount to get it started. There's other funds that come in to get to the full half, and then the grant is relayed in that regard. So I guess my point there is I wouldn't view it as an all, you know, half or nothing. I think there's other ways that we can help support a project that I feel would be good for the town. Just get a little creative about how we support that.
So Rob, the motion was up to 50% of the project.
Yeah, I was gonna actually suggest, if I had gotten here on time, was do we want to vote on, do we fund it all? You know, because if that answer is no at any level at $1, then we move on. It doesn't matter what the number is. So if we pass a vote to fund, then the next vote could be on the how much. But if it's up to 50, that leaves it open. What is it? If we all vote yes, then is it 50 is the max, or could it be some other level in between? And I'm just trying to open up because there may be people that, you know, support it fully. There may be people that support it, but not to the full extent of 50%.
Yeah, from the original discussions that we did have, I think we all, and again, maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but I believe we were comfortable with knowing the other projects we had, you know, coming forth, that we would at least look at or consider up to 50%, kind of a matching fund situation.
Right. It could be 10%, could be 20, could be 30. Is that what you're saying, Tom?
Yeah, and that was based on the amount that was proposed by Brian and Tara. Kathleen, you had a rebuttal?
Yeah, my problem is yes, you have a building that you put $250,000 into, but is that building actually worth the $250,000 that we're putting into it? That's my problem. And it's been my problem all along. I've voiced my concerns on that, given the value of real estate on Main Street in North Grovenordale.
Yeah. Do we know what the current assessment is on that building or open market value? I can't remember if we have or saw that figure.
We do, Tom. We do. It was pretty deep in the
Yeah.
report. I think 180, I'm going off memory. I think it's 180 fully
180?
finished. Fully
Okay,
finished. And I'm guessing, I think 50 or 60, 50,000 as a building lot after you tear it down. So you got to put 40 into it to get 60 out of it. Something like that.
That's
Maybe
right.
something
Those were the numbers that
Correct.
Ryan LaJoy had given me.
Yep,
Okay.
Ryan LaJoy did that. Yep.
So
Right.
If I can, Tom, I'd just like to contribute just sort of a way to think about it, you know, in regards to this up to 50% number. I think it's also important to remember that the project isn't on a timer. So if we're talking up to 50%, whatever that value is, it could be, in fact, what happens is it makes more sense to go through in phases, and that an ask in one fiscal year would be for 30 grand, right? So that, you know, if I'm saying as the proposer of the project that the maximum will never be more than 50% of the rehabbed value, we have the estimate of, you know, 240 to 250. That is not necessarily to imply that that nut comes up all at once, you know, which is also goes a little bit toward the idea of, you know, it's not an either or with the 1909 building and the 65 Main building. At no point have we ever said, you know, we want you to put aside the primary charge, which we all agree is the 1909 building, in favor of this ancillary site. It's we can find ways to do it alongside of if we are strategic.
so you've heard some of the board had, obviously, we've heard all the comments and suggestions. My comment is, I think it's a great opportunity. However, the up to 50% cannot be a moving target. I'd like to lock in on a specific number. The other concern that I have is if we do go out for the grants, we're kind of tied into stipulations on what we can do with that building for X amount of time. And I know there's other ways to get out of it. Joe, you had mentioned a few things last week. So I think there's two things that we have to vote on, which is the up to 50% amount, you know, and being a specific number. I just don't want it to be a moving target, or again, we don't do the project at all. So, I mean, I think, I'm not sure if we have to reword the motion for a specific number, or do we keep it the way it is, or do we, as Rob said, you know, maybe there's some people that want to do 100% funding of the estimate. Any comments on that?
I agree. It should be a specific number, Tom.
All right, so can the board agree on what everybody is comfortable with? Or actually, we have to vote on the motion that's on the table, correct?
correct.
All right, so let's vote on that, and then we can have a second motion for a specific number.
Tom, can I remove my motion?
I
Yes,
believe you can.
Yes, you can.
Well, I'll remove my motion.
Okay,
That way we can start it on a different one.
Amy, you remove your second.
I'll remove my second.
okay.
Okay, new
Do
motion.
I- Yep, do I have a new motion to be raised?
I'm just going to look up the agenda and
I was gonna say, if there's no new motion, meeting's adjourned.
I'm just going to read out the motion again, if I can just open the agenda. So
Sure.
I make a motion to fund 50% of the 65 Main Street proposal up to $120,000.
Okay. So the motion on the floor is for the trust funding up to 50%, which would equate to $120,000 per Orler. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Joe has seconded that motion. And do I have a discussion? Comments, concerns?
Joe, Tom, I would just ask that, it's a very simple motion, but it still carries with it some of the other conditions, like that the money's not spent unless the matching grant is received. And I don't get into all of those now, but I'm assuming that motion is tied to the other conditions that were discussed and reviewed with the group.
Yep,
That's
I would agree with that. The only other thing that I don't remember any discussions on a payback plan, a payback period. Or is this strictly a gift?
Well, we can, okay, help me out on the language. We can certainly add to the motion.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Yeah.
throwing it out there for discussion
know.
right now, but
It's a town asset, Tom. So the money stays within the town as the asset value. I don't think it needs to be repaid unless the building is sold outright.
okay,
And it will come back to the trust.
Well, okay, so when we write up, if we were to give the money to, at that time, we write up like a little contract or we write that up at the time that we give them the money? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll
And
write
we
up,
don't
we'll
have-
write up an agreement at the time that the trust transfers the money.
I would think so, Kathy, and along with those other conditions that we talked about. I think that's
Right,
important.
yes.
Correct.
That's important, yep.
That would be an agreement of the transfer from the money, from the trust money to quote, the town.
It's conditional upon
Yes.
those things, yeah.
Right.
okay.
Yeah, I would consider that a memorandum of understanding that we'd probably ask for assistance with town council.
Yep.
All right, so Orla, with your permission, can we amend your motion to say that the Tourtellotte Trust will fund up to 50% of the 65 Main Street project,
Mhm.
not to exceed $120,000,
Correct.
with the conditions in terms of a memorandum of understanding to be agreed upon by both parties?
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Is that fair? Do I have a second for that motion?
Second.
Joe, Joe,
Yep,
right?
Joe seconded that. Kathleen, you need more time for that?
No, I got it.
Okay. Any further discussion on this before we go to vote? Okay. All in favor of the motion on the floor, please say yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
All those opposed, please say no.
No.
No,
Any abstentions? Okay, I believe it passes 4-3.
yep.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, good stuff.
Guys, thank you. I really appreciate it. Given that, Amy, as you know, I've got a ticking clock on that USDA grant, which actually does not come into the trust funds at all. I would like to, see if we can get the selectmen to adopt that resolution so that I can apply for that, for the programming aspect. Again, that doesn't touch the trust funds. The other thing that I will do is, I think I mentioned last week, I had that letter come through from the Department of Revenue Services, which will enable the town to register projects for corporate donations. So I will start that ball rolling so that, in fact, we do have the potential for an alternate stream.
Good.
And let's hope that there's a lot of in-kind services and other, fundraising efforts, whatever can be done. Melinda, I'm sorry, but according to the will, remember the superintendent principal is supposed to live there. Sorry, we just out of any opportunity. It's right across from the bakery, though.
You're going to want to live there once we're done with it, Melinda. You're going to be clamoring to move in. The rent was only $40 a month when it was active.
I'll take that. Now, listen, I think, I don't want to speak on behalf of everybody, but I wish you, great success in trying to get that revived in a reasonable time frame. I just hope that this seed money will help. I was mixed before coming into this, and I know there's a lot of effort, and I want to see the town succeed. So anything we can do to help assist, we just don't want to be a landlord. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just wanted-
Okay, yeah.
Even though we voted no, it's not that we don't want the town to succeed.
No, yeah, and you're right,
Got it.
Kathleen. It's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
And as a perfunctory, we do need to bring this before the Board of Ed, don't we? Because it's a distribution from the trust.
You do, yes,
I believe so.
yes. And Amy and I need to bring it before the Board of Finance also.
Yep.
Yeah, so whatever procedural, steps, processes, hurdles need to go through, obviously, I'm right there in lockstep with you guys going forward. So we'll get whatever little pieces in motion we can and then figure the procedures out.
So let me just ask this to the board. Seeing how we've approved this portion of it, but the Board of Ed has not voted on this, nor has the Board of Finance, nor the Board of Selectmen. Is it okay for Tira to go out and start doing the grant process and all of that without all the channels approving?
Well, I'm assuming the votes going to the other boards are going to happen in a timely fashion. So I think Tara is mute, but I think there's no reason why she can't wait until those are passed.
Yeah, because the Board of Ed, our next meeting is not until April
12th.
Yeah.
12th.
So we got 2 or 3 weeks, right?
The only one that's absolutely time critical is the one that's got a 31st of March deadline, which is the one we've already mentioned.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Tira, that's just for the programming of the incubator. That has nothing to do with the building itself, correct?
Correct, and that's all in-kind match. It doesn't need any dollars put into it.
Okay, so you're okay to move forward with what you have then?
Was that to me, Tom?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yes. I'm always ready to move forward with what I have.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we've accomplished what we needed to accomplish. Anybody have anything else they wanted to bring up, even though it's not on the agenda? Are we
I
okay?
just wanted to say thank you very much for the opportunity. I look forward to doing the pre-construction, construction, and the final ribbon cutting with all of you. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Can I have a motion be made to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second.
Seconded by Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.
All right.
Thanks,
All
guys. See you all in
opposed?
P and Z.
Yeah. All right, everybody have a great evening.
Okay, bye.
Aye.
Bye now.